So, authors. To be quite honest with you, I'm not such a reader. I used to be, when I was still sort of allowed to read children's books. Also, I think I'm gonna miss out on a lot of you guys' videos because I read Dutch books. Don't get me wrong, I actually do read English books, but they're often not real literature unless I have to read them for school. So I'll give you one example. This is an English book I'm absolutely addicted to, but that's because I'm addicted to the guys. It's a biography from Anton Deck. They're British. They're from Newcastle and they do British television. They do British Got Talent and stuff. And I love them, so that's why I bought their biography. So basically I just took some of my favorite books that I have lying around here and I'll just try to translate the titles and maybe you recognize some of the writers because they're not all written by Dutch people. They're just translated into Dutch. We have some very good children's book writers, like Tonke Dracht. That's the world it's in. That's the world. Yeah, it's awesome. A very famous Dutch book is this one. It's also a children's book, but it's a little bit more serious because it's about the Second World War. Because in the winter from 1944 to 1945, we had this big hunger in the occupied areas, and this is about a boy who lives in that time and gets a lot of trouble. It's a good book. As you guys can see, I have a couple of books here too. This one's Dan Brown. In English it's called The Digital Fortress. I'm sure you've heard of it. In Dutch it's called The Juvenalis Dilemma, which is actually a quote from the book, and it's Quis custodit ipsos custodes, which means who guards the guardians, and I think that's something you can think about. Next we have Vivaldi's Muse. It's again an English author, well, quick. It's basically a book about Vivaldi's Virgin Choir, which he thought would express his music way better than a normal choir would. And it's written by, well, it's written from the view of one of the violists in the orchestra. And it turns out that she's the daughter of Vivaldi, while Vivaldi isn't supposed to have a daughter. It's a brilliant book. I really like it. It's quite hard to read, so I just looked it up, and it's called Vivaldi's Virgins. So I'm just saying. And last is the Snow Spider trilogy. It's not that good. It's just very shiny. Look. Last up is my absolute favorite book of all time. It's this one. It's in Dutch it's called Vuurvolk, Fire People, but I think in English it's called Rune Marks. It's by Joanne Harris, which you all know from Chocolat. This is more of a children's book though. It's about the Norse gods, and she basically creates a whole new sort of perception of gods and the Norse mythology. And if you know something about Norse mythology, this is awesome. If you don't, it's still a great read, but it's my favorite book because Loki is in it, and that's the Norse god of mischief, and it's my favorite god of all time because he's cool, because he's got red hair and green eyes and he's pretty. But I don't get into English literature that much. I hope you can forgive me. And I'm looking forward to hearing something about other authors from you to sort of get into reading in English, because I know my vocabulary would expand largely, but I just don't find the time to read anymore. Yeah. Oh, and happy birthday, Rob! 3 kisses, like the Dutch do. Happy birthday!